Damn right. And you're gonna make a difference.
This one comes with a basic sort of digital package.
Hey, you can make money off my name, make it, okay?
You got the power to change lives, Roy.
Hello and welcome to the Barry J. McDonald podcast. If you're interested in creating your own digital product or just want to learn more, you're in the right place. Whether you're just starting out or have been working on your digital product for a while, we hope that our podcast will provide valuable insights and inspiration to help you on your journey. Take it away, Barry.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now, today's podcast episode, I'm going to give you 7 ways to master consistency. Now, I'll be honest, I have fallen a little bit off the wagon recently with the podcast. It has been a little bit sporadic, so I'm going to take my own advice and I'm going to put it into action. But if right now you are finding it difficult to be a little bit consistent, hopefully this podcast episode will give you some tips and tricks that will allow you to stay more consistent, to show up more often, and to be there for your customers, your readers, and your followers. Now, the first thing you need to be aware of is to set realistic goals. Sometimes we bite off more than we can chew, and sometimes the type of person we are right now isn't big enough for the goal that we're looking to achieve. You know, we might have to develop some mental strength. Sometimes we might have to develop some skills. Sometimes we might have to develop more belief in ourselves to achieve larger goals. And sometimes, you know, those goals that we set off that are too big for us are too big for us. Sometimes we need to scale it back a little bit and to go for a smaller goal because we mightn't be the right type of person who can achieve that large goal yet. So if your goal maybe is a little bit too big, maybe you need to scale it back a little bit so that it's more achievable. It's something that you can do maybe on a daily basis, or something that you can do once a week, or whatever it is, depending on your time commitments and, you know, all the different things you have going on right now. Maybe you might need to just scale it back a little bit so that it's a smaller thing that you can do on a consistent basis. It's better to do something small consistently than only doing one big thing inconsistently. You know, only showing up for one podcast every month where, you know, it might be a lot easier maybe just do a 1 or 2 minute podcast 2 or 3 times a week instead. So consistency, it might come down to maybe just, you know, biting off a smaller bit of the pie. Again, to scheduling your work. You know, if you don't set up time for your business, well then you can be guaranteed that something else is going to take that time up. So you need to treat your online business as an important appointment. Treat it like an offline job that you have. You know, that you would just show up to do the work, whether you were motivated or whether you were tired or whatever, you would do the work. So you need to block off time in your day to make sure that that work is done and make it non-negotiable. Imagine you have a boss on your shoulder who's telling you that work needs to be done today, and hopefully that will, you know, motivate you to keep your butt in the seat. Now, if you find maybe it's hard scheduling time, have a look at what your daily schedule is like. You know, you might find that if you get the work done first thing in the morning, at least it's done and dusted. Or maybe you've got a lot on in the morning and you don't have some free time, well then block off some time maybe in lunchtime or maybe in the evening time or maybe at night time, but try and block off a time where you can concentrate on it, that you've got a fresh mind. You know, the last thing you want to do is working on your online business when you have done everything else and you're just mentally drained, tired, and just can't do the work. Now, maybe automating part of your business could make you more consistent. You know, maybe you've only got one day in the week when you have a lot of time that you can spend on your business. Could maybe you set up maybe some piece of software that just automates all your social media content for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and you can do it all on one day. You know, drip feeding that content out, or maybe writing a couple of blog posts and again automating it that the blog posts go out on a regular basis, but you're not there to do it. So see if you can streamline some of your tasks, see if you can automate it, and see if you can, you know, set something up like that. So even if you have only maybe one day in the week to do the work, at least that work will be drip fed out on the other 7 days in the week. Again, sometimes breaking down big tasks into smaller tasks could make it more manageable to you. Again, it's like the previous thing where I said about setting realistic goals. Sometimes, you know, one of our problems to staying consistent is we have a huge thing in front of us and we're thinking, well, how the hell can I do it? And sometimes when we have a huge task in front of us, it's very easy just to, switch off or think I'll never get there. That's too big. So sometimes you might need to break down your big tasks into smaller tasks, something small, something simple that you can do on a regular basis. Another thing is to think about your motivation. Why do you want to create an online business? Why do you want to create products? Why do you want to build a community? What's behind it all? Sometimes maybe getting your why back out, blowing the dust off it, and just thinking about it. Why do I want to do this? Is it for financial freedom? Is it that I want to express myself, get my voice out there, get my thoughts, my ideas out there? Do I want to help people? Think about why you're doing it. And that could be maybe going to help you with your consistency. When you have your why maybe written down, stuck to the wall, or you have some motivational wallpaper or something on your desktop, it's going to remind you why you're doing it. Why are you showing up? So think about that. Why are you showing up today? Sometimes we might need to maybe stay accountable. Sometimes we might maybe want to share our journey with someone else. Keep an eye on each other, motivate each other, and make sure that we actually get the work. Sometimes if we say we're going to do something, but the only person we have to, commit to is ourselves, it's very easy for us to let ourselves off the hook. But if you say to someone, well, I'm going to write a blog post today, or I'm going to make a video today, and, you say, well, keep on my case, make sure I do it. And, if it is someone that you respect, someone that you are afraid to, show yourself up or show that you're not willing to do it, sometimes that can be a great motivator. So maybe staying accountable to someone else could really help you stay consistent. And again, too, be flexible. Sometimes life gets in the way. Sometimes you do have low points where you're just totally exhausted. Sometimes something emergency happens in your family or life or whatever. So sometimes you do fall off the wagon. I did have a problem sometimes when I did fall off the wagon of being consistent. I would pick on myself, call myself names, think that, well, how the hell, Barry, do you think you're going to be consistent? Are you going to have any success online when you just can't show up on a regular basis? And I would beat down on myself. I would beat myself up because I couldn't do it. But over the years, I've learned that, things happen. Sometimes you're just unmotivated. Sometimes you just need to take a break. Sometimes you're burnt out. And sometimes you just need to step back, relax, and then come back at it again with a second wind. So if you're finding it hard to maybe master consistency, have a look at those things. Set realistic goals. Schedule it. Automate it. Break it down. Find your motivation. Stay accountable and be flexible. And the more you put those into action, the more you will find that consistency will be easier for you. And sometimes consistency is, building a habit. And you might find that when you actually build this habit, you don't think about it anymore. You just show up, you turn on your laptop, you write the blog post, you record your video, you do the podcast, whatever you do, because it's simply a habit. You've set up the habit of doing the action, scheduling the time, being accountable to someone else, and sometimes that can really help you out. So it might be just a habit you haven't actually, worked on yet and strengthened it. But put those tips and tricks into action. Let me know how you get on, but I'm sure you will find that you'll be more consistent when you actually take those actions. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. If you're interested in learning more about how to create your own profitable digital course from scratch, we have a special report that we know you'll love. To pick up your copy of Piggyback Profits, How to Make Your First Profitable Course, go to writecom.com now. We'll see you in the next episode.